Okay, we're ready to go? All set? Thank you, Brevin. Thank you, Robert, for having me here. You're putting the summit on risk, you know that? Yeah. And I also like to start to call out thank you, Mark Densi, for sharing his value network with me yesterday. He introduced me to people, problems, and possibilities. And that's the way it is, people. The bigger the problem, the bigger the possibility to solve. And that's what we are doing here at the OCP community. Let's start my presentation. My name is Roberto. Söderhäll is the pronunciation of the Swedish surname, if you'd like to practice. And I'm the business development manager for Swedish Modules. Short presentation before we go ahead about Swedish Modules. As you hear, we're coming from Sweden. It's a bit north, up from here. It's snowing in your hometown. Yeah, I can say it's the same where I come from. So when I left in Monday morning, we have 8 degrees below. Just ordinary situation in Sweden, yeah. You know that you were there for last week, so yeah, happy birthday. So we have been prefabricated modules, manufacturing modules for over 40 years. For the offshore industry with living quarters, completely living quarters, 5 stories high, shipping them out on the boat. Offshore, ship to site, that's literally what's going on there. And then in the middle of the 80s, we start to prefabricate pharmaceutical factories and shipping them all over the world. Building with a high level of readiness in our factory and doing all the acceptance tests and doing the performance test of a clean room, making pills, sugar pills, yeah. Not for the local market, it was sugar pills. And we tested, verified the systems, put the whole factory in pieces and shipped to site and hooked up there. So that has been our profession for over 40 years. And when I entered the company last year, together with a colleague from the data center industry, we added on 20 years from the data center industry. So this is my history. I come from the golden days when every enterprise company needed a data center on their own backyard. Those were the days, Robert. The gold rush, yeah. So we work with turnkey solutions and total entrepreneurship and putting everything together, selling to the whole Nordics, to the big companies that needed a data center for the business. Not for their own sake, but for the business. H&M, Volvo, IKEA, Ericsson. And once upon a time, nice to hear the Nokia guy, my neighbor from Finland here. The Nokia story, you know that. And once upon a time, Ericsson made mobile phones. It's a long way ago, you know that? They made mobile phones made by engineers, for engineers. And then Nokia figured out there must be more teenagers than engineers in the world. And all of a sudden, Nokia has 47% of the total global market of cell phones. And that's what it's all about. You need to see what we are doing here in the context. So I'm going to bring it up maybe 1 or 2 abstraction levels here. Not so technical. I'm going to introduce Modular Data Center because we're lining out a sub-project for the data center facility group that we are going to optimize a data module for OCP hardware. I'm going to show the first pictures, and we're going to share, of course, every drawing we can perform and every technical specs we can continuously give to you and share. And I have 30 minutes on stage. Please, Robert, give me a call when it's 5 minutes so I can prepare my landing. Yeah. So our contribution for the OCP society, well, of course, we're going to share the experience we have. Experience is not the same thing as competence, don't mix them up. But I think together with you, we can be extremely competent on this industry, in this growing market. Of course, the 20 years of data center design we will share. We are contributing to Mark and the guys. Of course, if we can, we are sure we'll give you input there for the protocol and for the matrix you are doing. I like it very much. I think it's an extremely usable tool when you're going to do the transformation from the old school to the OCP hardware. Of course, we're going to publish drawings and technical specs. But I think I will share with you the new challenge we all have, because we are doing something here. It's not creating new hardware, actually. We are creating a whole new society. And we are some core competence rolling out the digital society, the infrastructure for the digital society. Isn't it that so? And I think we have a challenge here, not only developing products, but also developing our mindsets, how to solve this task, this mission, this challenge. Because I think we got a responsibility here to create a robust infrastructure for the digital society with environmental sustainability. Or you agree with me? One or two? Yeah. This is more than a technical issue. It's a big, big problem. And big problem is big possibilities, big business. You start to get that mindset now? Yeah? The bigger the problem, the bigger the business. Because this is something interesting. You see the curve? The global footprint of energy use, electricity for data centers. It doubles every 4th year. It's extremely growth on this market, and the energy use is increasing incredibly fast. Exponentially 30% a year, and we're starting to run out of electricity in our big cities. And we need to implement more data centers. How can we do that? Interesting question. Big problem, big business. Yeah. Yeah. So, and also because of the evaluation and the revolution of the digital rollout, you see the big data, you know about the Internet of Things, of course, and edge computing is calling they're calling for demand of edge computing, of course, computing power close to the user. And you see, I like the picture where creativity is shaking hand with efficiency. Efficiency is for robots. Creativity is for humans, and we need to shake hand, okay? Don't compete with the robots. Be friend with them, yeah? Because you shouldn't compete in efficiency. You're going to lose that race. But in creativity, the robot's going to lose. Yeah, right? Good. So in the data center industry, WWW stands for what, when, and where. Sorry about the flag there, yeah, US guys. I couldn't resist. I know you were there first, okay? So this is a symbolic picture of where? Close to the user. Next time you go there, maybe a Swedish model will join you up in the air, okay? I'm now going to present shortly the ideas for the optimized micro data center for OCP hardware. Sorry, I don't have the right picture here on my stick. I apologize for that. But I have a little bit I have one picture. I have the drawings. I share them when you can publish them. Yeah, on the sites later. Last week we had a workshop together with John Leban, and he said, well, we're going to outline the ideas for optimizing a modular data center for OCP hardware. So he said, what do you have? For many years we developed sweet spot of sizes when it comes to transportation, and also the size to modular, get a good scale up when it comes to data centers and also, of course, for the pharmaceutical factories. So this is a standard, but it's a pity I can't show you the right picture here. Yeah, because populated with OCP racks, 2 rows, 36 racks, 360 kW, redundant N+1. It's a beautiful picture. Okay, can you imagine? Because that's only one rack row, it's an example. But our module is 30.44 meters long, 4.45 width, and 4.1 meter in height. And you get 2 rack rows there, you got a coal aisle in the middle, and you got OCP racks 2 times 18 in that one. And you can stack it up to 5 stories high without any reinforcement of the framework. That's our standard. We haven't changed it at all. We're going to change it in the interaction with the group, of course, to be the optimized size, because we can build whatever you like. But the construction, the basics for this is steel frame construction, and we can store it up to 5 levels with heavy load. 50 tons or even more, if you like to. And ship it to site, assemble it to site, and so on. But we're going to work with the group to have it extremely maintainable. I think that's a challenge we need to meet. It's going to be easy to maintain. It's going to be sustainable, of course, easy to connect for reuse of energy for other purposes. Easy to connect with the feeders of power on cooling, of course, and the data net. Easy and fast to set up on site, ready to go. Okay? You can longing for the pictures now, because I sold it in, okay? We're going to publish them, well, today maybe, yeah. So I think micro data centers for edge computing, we use the word edge computing, could be anything, but I think that the headline is computing power where you need it, okay? I think this is going to be the core for the digital infrastructure we're rolling out right now. Compute power close to the user, scalable, sustainable, in production. We need to be sustainable, environmental friendly when you're producing the modules and the data centers, but also in operational mode, we need to take care of the energy in a smart way. I will stay there just for 1 minute. When you are measuring a data center energy efficiency, as we heard here, the components and the systems need to be energy efficient, yeah. And we have a new design standard for data centers in Europe. It's called EN 5600. You heard about that one? Yeah. And the PKIs, the key performance indicators, where you're going to measure your data center if it's good, needs to be sustainable equipment, renewable energy used for the purpose, okay? How much reduce of waste energy can you put on the KPI? And also task efficiency. So we need to have some new measurements going on here. How many megaflops per megawatt or whatever you measure data power. You know, anybody in this gathering here know the measure unit for data power? Is it megaflops, gigaflops, or what? Megabyte? Somebody? Can we have a unit for task efficiency per kW or whatever? Then we are going somewhere here. But of course, we need to reduce the energy consumption when it comes to electricity. Okay? I will show you a concept. I would share it with you. I have a couple of, maybe 20 of those. If you like, it's in pure English, so you will understand it perfectly well. Released last week in Stockholm for Data Center Dynamics Energy Smart Conference. It's a concept I'm going to outline, give an out call for shortly after, in the end of my presentation. Okay. So when then is this thing happening? Well, I'm listening to the Ericsson people before the Barcelona conference 2 weeks ago, I think it was. They have 18 5G products ready for the market, commercialized and ready. So in the end of the year, they're saying maybe you can start using 5G. I don't know if that's true, but they have the portfolio ready to go, ready to market, all up. They're showing this in Barcelona. They're having some proof of concept going on in Japan, broadcasting video to the Shinkansen train with 5G mobile network, 1.7 gigabit per second, I heard. 4K, even 8K TV video is broadcasting on that. Interesting things going on, and that demands computing power to work. Exactly, and we need data centers. Close to the base stations, close to the users, close to the self-driving cars. Yeah, have you testing the self-driving vehicle in Stockholm, anybody? We have a bus there in Kista, in Science Town there, going, self-driving. Yeah. Scary, absolutely scary. And we have the industry boosting up with smart factories, machine learning, intelligent automation. They need computing power. Maybe they're going to use the 5G. I think the wireless mobile network will be established and used for the smart factories with machine learning, but they need computing power, and computing power needs electricity. Simple calculations. Telematics for trains roll out in Sweden this year, 8,000 small data center along the railroad track. It's going to be rolled out, I think, in a period of 10 years, but for the digital system that will supporting the trains with security, communication, and all those things. We really need it in Sweden because the trains are always late. They go from analog to digital, and it demands 8,000 data centers, 8,000, just for the Swedish railroad. You are coming from countries with much longer railroad than that, I'm sure. It's a long country, but it's a narrow country, but south-north, you go a long way. But the railroad needs 8,000 units with data power. Maybe 1 or 2 racks, but I think they are, some of the units are for 10 racks, but most of them going to be, well, 1 rack, 2 rack with high density data power. Gaming and video, of course, it's a growing thing happening in our society. Smart cities starting to be developed, and of course they need data power. And the infrastructure for data power is not in place yet. So the modular micro data center with open compute hardware has given place in the new society, don't you think so? And this is an interesting concept, I will tell you, because my question, of course, has been, where shall we put all those data centers to be energy efficient, renewable, sustainable, and all those questions? We are in the middle of the issue, guys, here. Yeah, in the middle of the storm. And I think we have the capacity and capability to solve big problems, big opportunities. Yeah? You don't fall asleep, do you? No. You look a little bit tired, Robert. Yeah? Where? Well, can you answer? Close enough to the user to avoid low latency, processing power and data caching? They're starting to having problems with caching data when you're broadcasting Netflix, HBO, and those 4K broadcasting videos now. They start to get stuck with data. The amount of data is starting to be too much to cache. So maybe you experience some difficulties now when you're watching Netflix. But this thing is growing. I still have some time, Robert. 10. So about the new challenge there. Yeah, this is a challenge. I think the mindset is most of the challenge we have. We can't solve the problems, our problems, with the same thinking we used when we created them. A famous guy quote that. So we're creating this problem, I mean, this is my statement, but thinking the data center will only concern a few. The data center in the beginning as a phenomenon was only for the big ones, storing data and processing business critical data. and for the governments and so on. So it's a thing that doesn't concern me. But today, every one of us producing tons of data. Even now when you're sitting here listening to me, you're sending some texts or pictures. And worst of all, you maybe record me on some movies and publish them on your Facebook site or Instagram or Snapchat or whatever. Creating amounts of data. And all of us are connected to a data center. You are connected to a data center. I am connected to a data center. So it's all of us today here contributing to this growth by using the devices that are connected to a data center. And now it's going to be a central asset for the whole society. The access to IT power will be as important as the access to electrical power. This is a basic infrastructure for the new society. Nothing else, the basic infrastructure for getting the society to work in a proper, decent way. Nothing else. We are not creating electronics devices specific for our own groups here. We are creating a society for our kids and our grandchildren. That's what we are doing in this OCP community. We're rolling out the new infrastructure for the digital society. And the IT revolution was faster than our common sense. Do you agree? Everything happens extremely fast, faster than we can give the feedback and think in a common way. We lost the race, and we are behind. Of course, it was focused on possibilities. In every new generation of discoveries, we are focused, what can we do with this thing? It's amazing. We are inspired and try to get more and more and more of this. A double portion of IT revolution, evolution. We like it, we love it. It's new things happening. How many of you think about the consequences that we're consuming more electricity than the aviation industry for the moment? Have done for many years now. More energy. And the contribution, I think I have slot here, yes. The data center have over 2% of the total CO2 emission responsibility for the moment. And we are running out of electricity, but we need it for computing power, for building up the new digital society. The data center is not in pace with the digitalization of the society. I think that's something that's a problem, and we are going to solve it. So, 5. I will speed it up, Robert. We have a lot of undeveloped data center facilities unable to meet the need for the growing IT services market. Okay. And so, we're only halfway there. We have the highways, but the vehicles, sorry guys, but we have to kill that horse. The old-fashioned data centers need to be refurbished in a way so they can use the highways they're on, supporting, riding on, accessing, okay? Are you agree with me? So the horse is going for the slaughter. Sorry to tell you, it's all over. So we need to understand the expectations if we're going to be successful. We need to see this in the context. And there comes the edge at the end there, A data center is an asset, nothing else, for the basic infrastructure, an important asset. Number 2, the data center should be easy to deliver and install wherever it needs. At the edge, absolutely. Number 3, cost efficiency, no more sub-optimizing of cost. The mindset, the business models need to be in focus as well when we are developing and innovating our products and services. Not only the products and services, but the business models needs to develop. Energy efficiency, no more waste of energy. I state that. We can't waste more energy. I think this is the challenge. We should be the one taking care of the environmental sustainability within the data center industry because we can. because we can. I'm in a little bit of hurry. Yeah, I knew this is preaching for the choir. I know that protecting a product is the only way to win this race. Wrong. We need to cooperate. We are facing an extremely big market with extremely growth numbers. We need to do this together. Over 30% a year annual growth, we'll need to collaborate to succeed. Okay, we're rolling out the new infrastructure, the pioneers. Yeah. It started as a race and need to be a joint venture. You see those guys there? They are happy, yeah. The future is built on cooperation, partnering, generosity, curiosity. The future is ours if we are humble, generous, curious. So this is the statement. Everything is going to be connected to a data center. If you like it or not, that's the truth. So you better enjoy the ride. And now I'm going to tell you what those guys are doing before I ended up 2 seconds or something. 3 minutes, I can manage. My biggest question is, how can we, in a decent way, reduce the waste energy for a data center for purposes that will contribute to the society in a smart way? The Facebook up in Luleå asked if anybody likes the energy they are wasting there, and unfortunately, Luleå is full with high energy industry. The steel company are there, the miners are there, so they have overflow of waste energy. So they say, no, thank you. So Facebook is feeding the forest with the same amount of energy that will supply a mid-sized city in Sweden. So they are happy birds up in Luleå, but it's a waste of energy. They asked, but they couldn't find a receiver. Those guys, Stockholm Data Parks, they are actually the energy company of the city. They own the multi-grid, they own the distribution for cooling, district heating, for power, and the data net. So they say, we have 3 plants, 3 parks. You can take your data center and we put it on the grid and connect you to the grid. We feed you with power, emergency power. We give you cooling for free if you give us the waste heat for our district heating system. So they loop you in to the ecosystem. They say, take your data center, put it here, and we will support you and integrate your data center with the ecosystem. We give you free district cooling in, and we receive the heat, the wasted energy in form of heat for the district heating. And we support you with power and data net. Redundant fiber, redundant power in, cooling for free. You give us the heat. They have 3 big areas in Stockholm. This could be one of the solutions we are looking for to the ecosystem. So they use the energy twice. Everyone would like to have a little bit of this brochure. I will share them with you. I have a couple, 20 maybe. Questions, Q&As. Yeah.
I don't know if there's too much time for questions, but I want to give a little bit of context to Roberto and his company. So the Swedish Modules and Roberto came to the foundation and said, hey, with a very generous offer of saying we'd like to lead a project to try to design an open standard around a prefabricated module that's obviously focused on this problem that we're going to see with edge computing. So he's got university students and his own staff that he's offering up to say they're going to lead this project, and he's coming to the community saying, bring your knowledge, bring your experience, and let's see if we can optimize some modules around open compute hardware. So very generous offer. So that's, you know, he's basically kicking this project off now, and we're hoping to get some interest in some of the smart people in this room involved in this. So you'll see some of this getting published in the data center facility group.
Take a look at the drawings and the pictures and interact with us. we are open for interaction now, and I think we can have a product ready this year to launch it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for listening. Yeah, you have a question. Yeah. 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 Thank you. Thank you very much.